Hey, ladies and gents, I'm Emily, a girl obsessed with Dr. Pepper, coffee, good books, and Broadway. Like everyone else, I've had my fair share of ups and downs, but through it all, I have learned one valuable lesson. We create our own reality. As a result, I spend time beautifying my world and finding solutions to create a problem-free life. Join me in the Craft Corner for DIY projects and weekly inspiration. Tune in now. Thank you guys for joining me. I am excited to be here for our seventh episode of the Craft Corner. I am Emily, and I have a couple projects I would love to share with you, inspired by, of course, my own personal experiences. But I think those are experiences most people could relate to. So the first project is a command center, if you will. It will help you organize items so you don't have to run around your house searching for the random pair of scissors, or perhaps a pencil or pen, or maybe it's a glue stick. Those are not things that we often have laying around easily accessible. Introducing the Back to School Command Center. Our next project has to do with positivity in our life. You all know I'm a very firm believer that we are a product of our environment. So I try in every possible way to cut out negativity and to introduce positivity when I am able to. So this next project will allow you to organize your thoughts, but also share them with the world and even with yourself, because we all need a little pat on the back or a little pick-me-up to help us kind of find the right mentality for the start of the day. Introducing the Daily Love Board. The first project itself has to do with the limitations of time, and it is no surprise, I have warned you before, I am the absolute worst when it comes to running on schedule and arriving at events, unfortunately, very late.
I'm late for a very important date. No time to say hello, goodbye. I'm late.
Now, whether your child is going to school, or perhaps you are in school, college, or an adult returning to school, it definitely helps to have everything in one place. You could be a professional and just simply need to organize your office.
I believe you have my stapler.
I am going to show you how to do that in a very easy, economical way. Let's talk supplies. For this project, I used a mat board from an estate sale, a hot glue gun, a Sharpie in a color of my choice. I chose a bronze metallic Sharpie because I felt it showed up best against the black mat board, an eBrush airbrush system, a pair of scissors or a cutting board, and your stencil of choice. We provide you the file if you have a cutting machine of your own. It is an SVG file that you can download if you would like to replicate the project we show in the video. I started preparation for this project by laying out all of the supplies I wanted to keep in my command center. As you can see here, I laid them out in the order I thought that I would store them. I started by measuring each item individually to make sure I knew the greatest width required, as well as depth and height. The tallest piece was about 12 inches tall. Because of that, I knew I should probably make the back piece about 8 inches tall to keep that writing pad from flipping over the back of the command center. Once I had all of my measurements written down on a notepad, I selected my mat board and made little tiny marks indicating where I would need to make the appropriate cuts. After I made all of the appropriate cuts based on the dimensions, my hot glue gun was used to assemble all pieces together. Once I had my command center fully assembled, I went ahead and cut out my stencil on my electronic cutting system. We provide the files to you to save you some of the headache of making it yourself. Once I had the stencil in place on the side of my command center, I chose a city skyline in this case. I used my eBrush and a metallic Sharpie marker. Turning the eBrush on, I sprayed a thin layer of the Sharpie metallic ink over top of my stencil, peeled away my stencil, and I had my final design there on the side of the command center. The same process was used for the front of the command center, as you can see here. Be sure to keep all of the little segments in place for letters such as P, R, O, D, A, and so on. Once you have the command center stenciled and fully assembled, simply put your supplies in the designated areas as you originally had designed it. Now you have everything in one easily accessible place. When I was a child growing up, I can't believe I'm actually saying that. I used to make fun of my parents for saying that. When I was a child, I walked 2 miles to school in the snow, come rain or sunshine, or however they phrase it. Obviously, I didn't listen very well. Now I guess it's time for me to take up the mantle and run wild with it. So, when I was a child, I was always taught that you are to be considerate of others, but also be a kind soul. We're not 100% sure what goes on in people's lives around us, and one kind thought can really make a difference in ways that we necessarily couldn't have foreseen or predicted. I know that I rush around like a maniac, and I am not always the best at telling people how much I appreciate them, but this hopefully will inspire me to do so moving forward, and I hope it inspires you to do so as well. So let's take a look at project number 2. My arm. Okay. This next project is extremely easy. Just print off the provided PDF, trim it down to your frame size, in this case 8 inches by 10 inches, slide in your frame, and you have a do-it-yourself daily love board. Grab a dry erase marker in the color of your choice, and you are free to leave thoughtful messages for yourself and others. Way to bring positivity into your life. Well, that is it for this episode of the Craft Corner. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you learned a few things along the way, or maybe you just had a little smile. No matter what the case, I hope you will at least subscribe to this channel for new videos coming out weekly. And if nothing more, like this video, leave me a comment. I will definitely comment back to you. I welcome all thoughts that you may have, and let's really build this community of crafters and make it a loving, positive place for us to share ideas and warm thoughts with one another. So I hope you enjoy your time with me, and I hope to see you next time. In the meantime, subscribe, and that is it for this episode of the Craft Corner. I'll check you guys later. Bye.